Yeah, feel that funky beat. Come on, everybody, get up and dance. Show us your moves.
Well, hello, everybody. Hope you guys like that little cartoon at the beginning. We are joined here for another Gentleman's Roundtable. We have special guest Chris Lopp from Funky Brims, owner of Funky Brims. First thing we're going to go around here first before we have Chris introduce himself is we're going to go around and tell everybody what their caps we have are wearing. I, myself, am wearing the cap of the week by Funky Brims. This is the Patch and Hound. And I'll have a review for that coming on tomorrow. And you guys will have a link in there as well for you guys to click on that link. Go ahead, Ant.
I'm wearing the Laird Hatter's Hooligan from Funky Brims. The flat cap from last year with the Hooligan pin. Love this cap. Definitely a great St. Patty's cap. I think it's got a little bit of whiskey on it still from last St. Patty's. So.
That's a sharp cap.
A few of those too.
Yeah.
I've got on the Huckleberry. It was my number one cap for 2005. Love the cap. It's from the Hale Speed Shop collaborations with Funky Brims. Great cap.
I got on the Mia Moore, the Hale's Funky Brims collab. I adore Mia Moore. It's an awesome cap. So
looks good on you.
And I'm wearing the Hooligan Patch, which is kind of a variation. Last year we did an all Newsboy that was just all the Hooligan material. This year we're doing a patch that kind of alternates the black and that, and it drops Thursday night. So
nice,
awesome,
sweetness. All right, Chris, let's go ahead and hear about it, and how y'all got it. Just go ahead and spill the beans here, buddy.
Yeah, sure. This is kind of evolved. It started off as a hobby. I've been wearing scally caps for a while. I don't even remember exactly when I started, but I know I got a now 13-year-old that has an infant picture of him wearing a scally cap, and so it's been at least a little while. Kind of just got in and got into some of these groups, whatever, but never I was always just looking for something a little different, than what you can find. I mean, I wear a gray herringbone often enough, a blue herringbone often enough, but sometimes you just want something a little different, and just thought kept seeing some different ones from other places. And I also travel quite a bit, so you go overseas some, and you just see different variations, and you wouldn't always find those here. And so started bringing a few over here and there, and people liked them, and just kind of kept growing until we started making our own line this last year, and then we started the collaboration with Hale's Flannels, which kind of opened up a bunch more doors as well. And about the same time, almost 2 years ago now, my wife opened a store, and it was funny. I was like, I want to sell some caps in there, and she's like, no, nobody's gonna buy the caps there, and finally, she relented and gave me a really small table, and all of a sudden that table, got to be a little bit bigger table, a little smaller table in front of it, until we ended up with a whole room here in the back of the store. And it's just gone really well. And then the online's, done really well also. And then we're opening up, a dedicated hat store, be about 1,400 square feet in the front and whole warehouse in the back. So we have everything under one roof to ship out or whatever. And that's going to be opening kind of middle of March or whatever, having a little get together here in town in Broken Arrow, Oklahoma. So right outside Tulsa. If you hadn't never been here or whatever, if you're anywhere close by, please stop by and let me know you're stopping by. But that's kind of it. And so we're be bringing in a bunch more scally caps. We got a bunch more stuff planned this year. We'll also have a lot more in terms of brimmed hats and leather top hats and all that kind of stuff. When we get over to that store as well. So.
All right. Now I got a couple questions in the chat real quick. I'm going to go and answer this one. This one, Ryan, this cap here is the Patch and Hound. It is available at Funky Brims. It's their cap of the week. And then, Chris, I got a question for you here. It is, what shirt are you wearing, sir?
What shirt am I wearing? This is the Shamrock. This was Hale's St. Patrick's Day shirt from about 2 years ago, I think. Yeah, 2 years ago. And so one of the first Hales I bought, and I really liked it. And are not quite ready to show the one for this year yet. Hales hadn't dropped it yet, and I don't want to give it away till they're ready. But we're going to be doing it's great flannel for this year. I'm excited about, and we've got about 6 different caps that'll match up, with that various. Got an example here. I mean, this is one we did not too long ago, and this is kind of what the flannel looked like right here. And as you see, we kind of had a blue herringbone that matched it, and just have a little bit of flannel under the brim, all the way to having a cap made up all the flannel, like some of you guys have on, but have about 6 different variations of it for St. Patrick's Day. Not including the one here. This is not using any Hales flannel in it, if you will.
All right, so we're gonna go a little bit of a roundtable here. Questions from us. Ant, go ahead and start off with a question you got for Chris, sir.
Yeah, Chris, thanks for coming on the show. I just want to say it's been great. It's been great watching you guys grow over the past year, and not only you guys, but the whole Scallyverse together, and you guys kind of leading the way on that. And just all those hats that you expose us to, those European-made caps and all that. It's just been awesome to be part of. But to go off on the Hales thing, my question to you would be, how did you actually hook up with Hales on a personal level, on a business level? How did that start and come about? And also, the second part of that question is, you guys plan ahead? This is how many caps and collabs we're going to do together? Or is it just kind of like, going, just based on success now? And you just like, as you go, you're like, let's do another one, and where do you see it heading?
Yeah, so that's a great question. Kind of taking that in pieces. Actually, last year we did the Irish Fest here in Tulsa about the same time. And there was, a few people that came down for it. And one of them's a guy named Dwayne McClinton that's in a lot of these groups. And Dwayne had went on down to Texas and been to Hales. And he just kind of said, hey, you should reach out. I went in there wearing a Scally cap. And, Colin down there was talking about wishing he had some partner to make it. And you should call him. And so I just messaged him and we started talking. And we said, yeah, let's try one and see how it goes. And, then we kind of agreed, all right, we'll kind of pick out, one flannel a month. And, or one shirt a month, and we'll kind of do a collab with that one and, see how it goes. And then, by the time, because, these things have huge lead times, right? And so, right now, this morning I was designing, the ones that come after the July 4th caps, right? I mean, we've, that flannel's already been planned out forever, but we're sitting there making the final details on ones that'll come out in August or something like that. So there's a lead time, and we have to be backed up. So when Flannels is, literally running the fabric for their shirts, they're going to run an extra 50 yards for me and ship it to my hat maker in Italy, and put it with some other fabrics or however we do to make those. And so, by the time we got to October, November last year, I was having a few drops where I was like, okay, this wasn't the one I picked this month. And this kind of sucks because I've got a bunch of people reaching out saying, hey, why didn't you do one for this? And I was like, we were picking one a month. And so we just decided this year we're doing drops for every time they do a drop, we're doing a drop, doing some hats to match it as well. And so, we've already, they do a great job planning it out. I mean, I've already seen, sort of examples of what all of their, they've already got 2027 planned out. I mean, that's how far in advance all this is. And so we've gotten better. Wow. I'm getting swatches when they get their sort of first looms and shipping it to Italy so we can find just the right fabric. I mean, you guys like the live wire earlier this year. I mean, I was so picky on that one. Like, we got to find just the perfect purple to go with that one. And
it worked out.
More lead time we have on those, we've just really gotten picky on making sure it's just the perfect color, the perfect whatever it is. And, I think we'll step back and probably even, my wife and I are actually going to a maker's show in Vegas next week. And that's going to, a lot of that is literally fabric manufacturers. So to the extent that we have a specific color, we're looking, if we can back up far enough and get, some kind of tweed or some kind of, depending on the season, whatever it is we need, made in just this particular Pantone color that we're looking for, whatever it is to match up with it. I mean, I think we're just going to keep getting better and better. But, we've got a great partner in Italy as well with Alfonso d'Este and their private label line. And so they've got tons of different unique Italian fabrics and European fabrics that we can kind of match up with it as well. But if we don't find just the thing we're looking for, we're going to have somebody else we can go to and say, we need this exact color, here's the flannel, and we want to pick out this little line right here is the exact tone we're looking for. So it's been fun, and I think they're just going to get kind of better and better. And and the thing with Hales has been great. I mean, we've I'd say we've all became friends out of this too, and they're just great people to work with. And
awesome.
And and so it's just been a great partnership so far, and I think it's going to get better. And I've gotten a couple of shots to be involved in sort of designing, or at least throwing my thoughts out on a theme for a shirt or a shaka that's coming out before too long. One of their summer shirts, me and another guy got to design, so that's going to be a fun one.
Awesome, thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, I have two quick questions for you. One was on the live wire. Was that supposed to be like a Mopar tribute cap, or I just because of the Mopar pin with it, or?
That was just that was the car out of it. There's a whole, it's interesting all the pieces of this. And you say quick question. I don't unfortunately have quick answers a lot of times.
No, that's okay.
But there's a lot of pieces that go to it. I mean, they have their flannel and they have the kind of the theme around it, and they'll do their initial art that's going to go in the back of their tag and on their banner and all that stuff. And then it's kind of like, mine's going to be a little bit smaller, and then you got to make a pin out of it. So do you want to, which one of those elements would you rather take and focus on making a pin out of? And then, kind of paring it down a little bit in size and complexity for the, kind of in the top of these is we always have a little tag in there too that's kind of throwing out, coming off of their theme or whatever. And so doing the pins, getting the pins made, all this kind of stuff, it's just a whole process that, again, we're at least 6 months out in terms of what we're already ordering the labels in for, ordering the, pins in for. And, we've got some, got a great, partner that's making the pins as well. I mean, one of our St. Patrick's Day, I'll show this one, so I'm excited about it. Putting a spinner on there, right? So, and then we'll have one later this year where a little piece of it's going to light up. It's have a little LED light built into the pin that lights up, and there's some different unique things that you won't find just everywhere on some of the.
And then do you do more of your sales online or more through your store, or is it pretty even?
It's definitely more online. I mean, we sell a healthy amount, in store, but and here lately, I was telling you guys, I think I mentioned this to you guys earlier, like when we did the Shelby Co. drop, which was a few weeks ago, man, I remember, we're kind of looking at how many we were selling, and I thought, I'm going to order 3 times that many way back when we ordered, because, we're going to have our grand opening going on not too long after that, and the, Peaky Blinders movie is going to be dropping, want to have plenty of them, and it sold out in 10 minutes online, so it never made it into our store at all, which is not something, I'm not going to complain about that, but you also hate to see disappointed people, and you're like, I promise, when I ordered this was like, I thought this was a crazy number of caps that we ordered for this drop, and that's like a good problem to have. But
so yeah, man, the Hells collabs are some of my favorite drops right now, especially
mine too.
The live wire and this one I picked up, the Mia Moore, is pretty awesome too. Yeah, I really like it. Looking back so far on what you've dropped, what are your personal favorites, that you've in the Hells collab specifically?
In the Hells collab specific. Yeah. So, I think that's a tough one, actually. I would have to go again, the Shelby Co., because that was exclusive to us. It was the first one they've ever done was exclusive. And we really, we got to make our own banner out of it, made our own T-shirts out of it. And just sort of got to, it was named, I think they were just going to call it the Peaky or something like that. And I was like, we can't go with just the Peaky because that's kind of already been done. And so, we got to rename it and sort of, work on the art from the beginning and, all that kind of stuff. And then, again, it just, was so well received because, we, again, if you think about how many Harley dealers normally order those shirts, that was pretty much me ordering all those this time. So we had that was and again I thought we would have a bunch left over for putting our store or whatever. They all sold out that first night, so that was great. But that one was special. And then the live wire. Everybody was so excited about the live wire, and so it's hard to pick just one. But honestly, I think before too long, I'll have a new rival because I'm super excited about some of these St. Patrick's Day ones.
Oh, cool. All right.
For instance, on one of those, the first time, there's two different shirts dropping for St. Patrick's Day with Hales, kind of one short sleeve and one long sleeved. And so it was the first time when I went to our makers and said, okay, I want to do a custom patchwork, a flat cap patchwork, where as it works out with the patterns, you have to pick out 13 different fabrics. And so 2 of them happen to be those 2 those two fabrics, and they just kind of blend in. But there's another, sort of 11 shades of, green, black, white, whatever that'll go into that. So that was a lot of fun to make and design as well.
Cool.
Awesome.
Just one more here, and it's an easy one. The Springwood Slasher, I noticed it came with a pretty awesome fedora. Are you planning on, keeping that up, as we go down the road with the drops here?
Yeah. When it makes sense,
Yeah.
And for that one, it obviously made sense, right? Because that hat, then we were able to kind of, make a pretty close replica of what that looked like, but throw the flannel on there, and so, my best example would be, say there was a, some kind of tropical themed one sometime, right? It might make sense to drop some sort of a Panama hat or straw hat or something like that in the same vein. So, we'll keep doing that where it makes sense, and there's something where it made sense to do a top hat sometime or something like that. That'd be a lot of fun too.
Yeah.
So.
I have gotten more compliments on the Springwood Slasher than I think any cap that I own so far. So it gets a lot of attention when I do wear it out.
Yeah, that one's actually, and that was something Colin ever said. Colin at Hales really doesn't like to make shirts.
Yeah,
they're just so specific that it's great to wear this on October 31st, but you can't wear it on November 1st anymore. It's great you can wear this on December 25th, but you can't wear it on December 26th anymore. And I think that one, if you look at it, you can kind of see, you can see it in there that Jason,
exactly.
You get past it and you're like, oh, this looks like a nice looking shirt to wear right now, so it doesn't just kind of so sort of screaming purple and orange that you couldn't wear it other times of the year.
I got the Springwood Slasher fake leather cap, and that looks so much like leather. It's a really cool flat cap. I really like that one.
I got that one too. That's a nice cap.
Get ready. There'll probably be a real leather one coming.
Oh, really?
Nice.
I'm looking forward to that.
If you were to have one that was sort of very much, motorcycle biker themed, you surely wouldn't want to put a fake leather on there. You'd want to have a nice sort of leather coming off of somebody's motorcycle jacket that you're putting on that cap. So it'll be here for too long with some real leather ones.
Are you dropping hints, man?
I was going to say. I
look forward to that.
Do what?
I know I'm going to buy that, whatever you're talking about.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So for my question, Chris, is a year ago, Funky Brims coming out. That's when I got turned on to you, and the progress you made in a year. Yeah. So where do you see it in another year? I mean, with these Hales collabs, they sell out. I don't know if you ever thought they would sell out that quick or not, which is insane. But
especially the recent ones,
because that's awesome. First of all, but in another year, what do you see yourself in another year? I mean, other than having the store, it's a storefront.
Yeah, we'll have the store. Like I said, in the store, we're going to do. We've got a few of them here. I mean, just kind of unique sort of leather, top hats, that kind of stuff. Slash sort of things, for the Guns N' Roses fans out there, and plenty of other uses as well. But we're just kind of try to be unique again. I mean, I think we need to probably develop some evergreen ones that we're just going to always have, like our Tommy might turn out to be that, where we just always have a gray herringbones and that sort of stuff. Like, because you don't need 10 gray herringbones, but if you're new to this sort of cap game, you need your first one. And so you want to have that, especially in store, having sort of the basics there. But, going in some other different directions, I'm really excited. We're going to do a series that we're going to call The Vault. That kind of started out of, we found a lady that used to make a bunch of custom clothing and stuff. And she's got this, just sort of basement filled with unique fabrics from the 60s, 70s, whatever it is that she used on high-end dresses, suits, whatever it is from all around the world. And we just went in and, we picked out about 10 of them that we really liked and, brought them out. And so we're going to, in the same way we do with the Hales collaborations, put those fabrics, because, in some instances she may have only had 15 or 20 yards of it. And so put it with some other fabrics. And, I've already got the labels, actually just got those in yesterday. The Vault from Funky Brims, and it's, blank of blank, underneath it. So we'll hand number, however many there's enough fabric to make, we'll make. out of this, and you'll never see that fabric again. You won't find the fabric anywhere. It probably hasn't been sold, anytime.
That'll be interesting.
20 years or
Sounds
something
awesome.
like that. Have some really unique stuff, and pair it up with some other unique stuff, and just make stuff like you've never seen before. And then when those are done, they're done, and we'll move on to some other ones. And again, like the show we're going to next week in Vegas, getting our own sort of fabrics, going back and saying, man, I really want, I've got a color scheme in mind that I want for Halloween, right? I got to find somebody to make this because I hadn't seen it yet. And so it's been fun. And I think that's the other thing that my wife sort of surprised sometimes. It's, somebody who's always been so, sort of left brain logical numbers or whatever, enjoying finding the creative side and that kind of stuff. And sort of letting these sort of hats kind of arrange themselves in your mind of like, okay, that looked good. And it's just been a lot of fun doing it, and that's the good thing is I think it's I still do my day job, but this is just a lot of fun to use a different part of your brain and give a little relaxation. And I'm spending more time than just the evenings now. Probably the day job's declining a little bit as well.
So if this ever blew up, would you quit the day job and do this? It sounds like you enjoy this a lot. I mean,
I would go down to 10 or 20% day job. There's still a couple of those clients that I've had for a long time that I really like, and I always keep things interesting too. But definitely, stop taking anything that's not interesting or that makes your head hurt. What
kind of attorney are you?
Business. So it's all kind of
cool
contracts and setting up companies and that kind of stuff. So that's it's a lot of fun, but it's just a different part. It's not as much fun as this, and sometimes you have clients that are just kind of pains, and you'd be like, okay, I don't take this anymore because I'm selling enough hats, and I'll keep the sort of longer term clients that I've had for a while and that are really friends at this point as well.
Wait, so the clients are more pains than the hat customers?
Absolutely.
What about the day you dropped the live wire? Can you say it about that day?
Sometimes you just have to kind of own it, and I think Hale does a better job explaining it, and we've kind of talked about that. Unfortunately, sometimes you just have to make choices, right? I mean, this isn't, I'm not owned by private equity like some companies are. And so, if like the Mia Moore, I wish I could have gotten a few more of those, but I'm sitting there going, okay, I put a bunch of money 6 months ago into the Shelby Co drop. And I know right after that is the St. Patrick's Day drop. So it's like you only got so many dollars to invest in that inventory, and so, I didn't want to go short on the Shelby one. I didn't want to go short on the St. Patrick's Day stuff. So, I mean, and that was still one of the biggest drops we've had. Not that we didn't have as many, but that had just been standalone and there hadn't been anything else. I had a good feeling that was going to sell pretty well.
I got to imagine it's got to be hard that far in advance to anticipate, what you're going to sell, and what's going to take off and what isn't, so.
Oh, absolutely. And how much growing are you going to do, right? I mean, the orders I'm placing right now for say July and August, I'm going more than what we're selling right now, right? So that's taking a bit of a risk there, but hopefully we're sitting there in July going, man, I can't believe we didn't order more than these. It's a better problem than, man, we got all these caps sitting around that nobody bought.
Exactly.
Well, I'm sure the longer you do it, you're going to get a lot more experience on what you can sell in advance and stuff like that. The more it goes, and I'm sure there's a learning curve to it also.
Yeah, and the other thing I'm pretty excited about is we got our partners in Italy to do a little bit smaller runs than they normally would of women's caps. So
cool.
My wife likes a certain shape in those that's kind of like this kind of shape here, if you will, still an 8-panel. But if you can imagine whatever design we're doing for an 8-panel newsboy in the men's, just kind of replicating that on here in this women's shape, if you will. So those will start rolling out a little bit later this year, where we start kind of for at least most of them doing a kind of a matching women's shape as well.
Do those all have like the ponytail things in the back, or
no? That's very specific to one. To one. They do make the women's with a little bit of elastic in it. In case your hair. I mean, I don't have this problem, but your hair is up versus down, might be a little bit different size. So they normally make those women's one with a little bit more give in them, if you will.
Yeah,
So,
those ponytail holes, that is like my kryptonite.
yeah.
yeah, that is that's back in the day that was the way to go. But yeah. So before we get to from questions of the audience, I just got one more question for you, Chris.
Sure.
Out of all the seasonal drops, what season is your favorite?
Well, I mean, if I had to just pick one, it'd be St. Patrick's Day. But sort of the Halloween, age is not far behind. There's a lot of fun stuff you can do around there too. But if I had to just pick one, it's definitely the St. Patrick's Day stuff.
Those are my two favorite hat holiday releases are the St. Patty's and Halloween.
Yeah, I agree too.
I mean, I find I'll wear my St. Patty's stuff all year around.
Same.
And I mean, this can be a Christmas, it can be Halloween, it can be, as far as I'm concerned, middle of summer too. So
yeah.
And Chris, before we go to the audience though, how many times have you visited a manufacturer out in Europe, and do you plan on doing that again? Like just going there and just grabbing stuff and bringing it back in a suitcase?
Well, the more tight the customs and tariffs gets, the more after it is to at least load up what you can. We've visited. The only hats we sell that I haven't visited in person would be Glenappen in Scotland, which is high on my list of places I need to go. But we visited Hannah Hats in Donegal, Ireland. We've obviously visited our hat maker in Italy. We visited Laird in England. We've visited several Hologram as well. We've visited several more that it's kind of been nice. We've had several others invite us to start carrying their caps, and we've visited those different places too. And so we may add some more lines as we go. But I feel like we got a pretty cool gamut of from traditional European with Laird to Hannah, which is great patchwork, sort of flashier stuff with Alfonso Dest in our own line, and then all the stuff we can get off a Hologram. I don't know that there's really a sort of piece of the whole thing that I feel like we're missing that's justifying bringing in something else. So we're about to add some brimmed hats. American hat makers. We're going to start carrying a bunch of their stuff, like those leather ones that I just showed you. Those are actually made in California, so that'll be good.
I like pork pie hats and flat snap flip brim fedoras a lot.
Yeah, and they make all those too. They don't just do leather, so yeah, we're going to have a bunch of theirs as well, and it's kind of nice. The same sales rep who reps them also is the one that reps the Alfonso Dest and my private label stuff. I work with him a lot, so it's nice. He already knows what I'm kind of looking for in that stuff. So
now I finally know how to say it. I've done a couple of reviews of his caps that I bought from you. I didn't know if it was Alfonso S or SD, so I'm happy now to hear you pronounce it. I've never heard it said.
It took me a while to get that too.
We got a comment in the chat here from saying their next stop is Warsaw and visit Sturkowski.
We've talked with Sturkowski. We've carried a few Sturkowski, and they're great caps. The lead time and just trying to get them in and all that, we had a lot of issues with. But we've had some conversations with them, again here recently, and I think eventually we'll probably get there. I'd like to. Again, I think they make great caps. It's just we kind of have to. You kind of have to be planning together a little bit, right? And if we're going to be trying to stop stuff here and help with some of the tariff stuff, we'd have to know what's coming a little bit earlier and that kind of stuff as well. So,
all right. So we're going to go ahead and take a question from the chat here. Do you ever plan on doing a sale on your in-stock inventory that doesn't move fast?
We got one going right now, actually. Buy one cap, get 15% off. Buy two, get 20% off. Buy three, get 25% off. And that's we're calling it our moving event because it's that many less caps to move because we're moving our whole warehouse over into the back of the new store as well. So we got that going actually through tomorrow night. So it ends tomorrow night at midnight. So yeah, check out our page. There's a big, funkybrims.com. There's a big banner at the top. You'll see our moving event. And so that's it's not just stuff that doesn't move as fast. I think everything really except Boston Scally won't let us, discount like that. And then just our very, very latest drops aren't on there, but really everything else is.
Nice.
Yeah. And then I had a question earlier. We kind of touched base on it a little bit. is do you ever bring caps back? He missed out on the masterpiece. This is from Jeffrey. I didn't realize they would sell out so quickly.
Yeah. The Gothic, we actually did do a whole nother run on. And, it's kind of a complicated thing. It's, if it's one of those things where there's, 10 or 20 people that might miss them and didn't get them, we can't do a whole run on that because we have minimum, orders. And so and we also, a lot of times, like this last time with the Gothic, I'll tell you, we ran as many as we could given the amount of that plaid fabric they had left. And so, there's no more to run on those now. And so a lot of that is just, same thing, the masterpiece Michelangelo we just did. Unfortunately, I actually just found out today because I had some other plans to use it on some other caps as well. That sort of blue, not the plaid, but the other blue that's in it. We ran through, we made as many of those as we could with the fabric they had as well. So, short of, some more of that fabric turning up somewhere, that one's is going to be gone as well. And so, there's never any guarantees that we can do that. And, and sometimes you, like our Tommy hats, the second gray herringbone is just a little different than the first one. And that's okay. I mean, it's still a gray herringbone. I like them both. But, sometimes, everybody runs into that. I mean, I have a whole, thing here of, caps from different brands. And, you can look at, whether it's Boston Scally or, or even Glen Appin, you can look at a hat that I may have bought last year that's still sitting here and looking one that just came in, this year or something. And you can just see just a little bit different, difference in the fabrics, if you will. And it's hard to get a whole second run that's just exactly the same as the first one was.
And I got another question here, which is pretty interesting. Any chance, Chris, that you would consider direct sourcing a Harris tweed and maybe have your own creation?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're, of course, Harris tweed is a tweed. There's a lot of great tweeds out there. Donegal tweed's great. There's, other places, and that's, Harris tweed is a very specific, branded tweed that is from a very specific part of Scotland. And so, you can find very similar fabrics that may be the same quality that are just, from Italy or some other part of England or something like that. And they can't use that, Harris tweed label. But, that is made a lot. You know what you're getting if you're getting Harris tweed. And so, yeah, that's definitely one of those things where, like the show we're going to next week, there's, are there Harris tweed, and the question is how much do you have to make, right? I mean, there's only, if it's something unique that we really like, and, I'm wanting this color or whatever, what's their minimum order, right? I mean, 1,000 yards of fabric, man, that's an awful lot of hats. And so, especially if you're only going to use, do a patchwork or something where only half the cap's using that, so,
right.
Finding people that want to make it, in the colors you're looking for, with a small enough quantity, which is still a big enough quantity. I mean, we're not talking small amounts, but you also don't want to, sit there and buy, 1,000 yards of fabric of the exact same thing because you want to move on and make something else too.
If you do a Harris tweed cap, make sure you get that front seam straight.
And if it's a plaid, I'm going to make sure it matches up on the top too. That's just something.
We got another pretty good question here in the chat. As the Funky Brims line expands and grows, do you plan on continuing carrying caps from the other manufacturers, hologram, layered, things like that, or will you scale back on those lines?
That's a good question. Yeah.
That is a good question. I think we'll always plan on carrying some of those other ones just because there's a lot of great cap makers out there, a lot of great variety, a lot of things. I don't want to sit here and say, hey, nobody can make, caps as good as we can or, something like that. And so I think, that's always going to be an extension of the store and it's always going to be something that I, spend time doing and all that stuff. But then a lot of those others, hologram, they take my input, they haven't taken my input to make 62s and 63s yet, but we're working on that and hopefully getting close on that one. But, we have custom ones. I mean, this one I've got on right here is a layered hat, and we will absolutely continue, bringing in just some of the more basic layered ones. But there's just a lot of considerations in that, not the least of which is, in the last year, exchange rates and tariffs, right? I mean, it just, England really got hit pretty hard by that. I mean, the exchange rate in particular, with layered, we've always done the funky blinders, and those were a lot of fun caps to make. And, I got to Christmas time and started pricing that out. And I'm like, geez, that's going to be a $150 hat. If we do that, or do we switch and put it on our own line and make our own kind of custom thing like we did with the Rudolph and, sell it for 80? If I'm sitting here going, it's going to be our design and we're going to like it the same either way. It's kind of hard to say I'm going to make the $150 version, which frankly would have been a smaller margin. It's just, it's kind of getting hit hard with some of that stuff this year.
Yeah, that was a great question there. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So we'll always have other brands too.
Now I have one more question before we go to the next topic here. I don't know if you'll be able to share much because I know you want to surprise people, but are all your St. Patty's Day caps dropping Thursday?
No, the only one that's dropping Thursday is this hooligan patchwork, and then of course we made a bunch of these last year, sold a bunch of them, but we had a few more made too. The hooligan flat, like you got on there, we'll have those. Those are still out there right now, and just those two, and then the rest of them will be coming a little bit later in February.
Will the hooligan be that same color green like that he's got on?
Yep, I'm wearing it right here. So yeah, this is this hooligan. It's exact same fabric. We bought a bunch last year, so we were able to use some of the same fabric we made. And shown there's a little pin that comes with it, the little Celtic Shelby as they call them. So a lot of these will come with pins. All our collaborations come with pins. So we've actually got 3 different Hales collab pins this year too. So one for the caps that have both of them in it.
The Mr. Funky St. Patty's Day pin you showed, that was pretty awesome, man.
Yeah,
I like that.
Yeah,
Will you have any other flat caps coming out for St. Patty's Day besides the hooligan?
Do what?
Will you have any other flat caps coming out for St. Patty's besides the hooligan?
Yeah, we're always going to do with the collaborations. There'll always be a flat cap and just the flannel itself, which we were talking about earlier. Sometimes that's a lot for some people. They just see it, the flannel with the with the flannel hat, but there's always solid colored t-shirts, there's black t-shirts, whatever it is, and a lot of these all flannel caps make great caps to wear. If you just look at it as just a plaid cap or whatever, to wear with t-shirts or solids or whatever it is as well. And then we got the flat cap and the patchwork I was talking about earlier, and then we'll have an all green flat cap as well. So
cool,
nice.
Oh yeah,
I'll be looking for that one.
Brim, but the rest of it be on all nice Kelly green. So
I'll be looking for that one.
Right, I was going to say before how hard it is to actually find the green buffalo plaid cap like this. It's not easy to find.
Right.
It was hard to find the fabric to send over to England to have it made. So like I said, when we bought it last year, we bought a bunch, and so there was enough left over this year to do another run of those and these caps here this year. It's been kind of planned since last year that we do this kind of alternating one.
And before we change topics here, you guys could go ahead. I put all the links in all of our channels, including Funky Brims YouTube. If you guys want to go ahead and send a like and subscribe to those channels, kind of beef up those numbers up a little bit. And we're going to change the topics here. Now we got a pretty special event coming in March. So Chris, we're going to go ahead and a lot of people are asking that in the chat. What exactly is going on there in March?
So in March, we're going to have our grand opening, which happens to be the weekend before St. Patrick's Day. And so we're going to have an event going on Friday night and Saturday. I think it's the 13th and 14th of March. And so the night of the 13th, we're going to have kind of a soft opening for only people that have come in, generally from out of town or locals here that are sort of existing customers, kind of a speakeasy feel, have a bartender going on, open bar, kind of a private shopping night, sort of the first night to see inside the new store and that sort of thing. And then Saturday, we're going to have, it's kind of evolving a little bit, actually. We're having definitely having live music, some food trucks, kind of grand opening to the public, if you will. The Irish Fest in Tulsa is going on, kind of downtown Tulsa, which is probably 25-minute drive, something like that. But we may end up, there's kind of some forces at work. There's supposed to be an Irish Fest here in town, kind of a one night, sort of thing going on. And so we've been talking about switching things up and, talking to the city about closing down a street here and one of the Irish bars around, coming in and putting in a little beer garden in between, and bringing in some bands here locally. So, one way or another,
Sounds like a good
going down
time.
to the Irish Fest, we're going to have our own sort of Irish event going on out here together. And if you haven't followed it yet, the Brims Underground is our group where we kind of drop and get little hints on things first. So if you haven't joined the Brims Underground, check that out, and then our Funky Brims page as well. There's links on that Funky Brims page that kind of explain it, and you can sign up or get on the mailing list. My wife sends out emails, everything from hotel recommendations to sort of here's what's going on and that kind of stuff. So
I wish I lived closer.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too.
Yeah.
It's gonna be
I'll get
fun.
there one day. I'll get there one day.
Yeah.
And so, is there like an itinerary of what you have going on that week so far yet? Or
it's out there, and like I said, it may end up changing up a little bit. Like we've been talking about going to the Irish Fest, but if we end up putting something on here locally, we may all just keep it around here. But either way, yeah, it's all out there, and again, sort of that Friday night and Saturday sort of thing, and the people from Hales are coming up. They're bringing a couple of their hot rods. They'll be in the parking lot here at the store. So it'll be a lot of fun, and we're going to have some event specific, banners, T-shirts, that kind of stuff that only for people here live and that sort of thing as well. So,
Are you still doing the tattoo thing?
Yeah. My tattoo artist that has done my whole sleeve. We're up 42 hours on this arm alone now. He's going to come and do some. He's going to do some flash tattoos. He's designed a couple of sort of cap things, and he's got all kind of Celtic, stuff that he can do on there as well. And so yeah, he's going to be doing that both Friday night and Saturday. He'll be doing some flash tattoos there.
I've got tattoos from my feet to my neck. A good friend of mine owns a tattoo parlor, so I've been getting tattoos for years.
I got to get back. It's been a little while.
Moose wants to get a teardrop that night, so
yeah.
I thought he wanted the little ice cream cone.
Yeah.
I said Moose is going to get a Funky Brims tramp stamp.
Yeah.
Your wife will love that.
That'd be a great look.
No, there. I have another question on you. Actually, Steve actually said he bought his airline ticket tonight.
All right.
Oh,
Nice.
Cool.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Hopefully somebody will shoot some footage there and put it online.
Yeah, no, I'm sure we'll end up doing some kind of impromptu live in the middle of one or more of these events, and kind of throwing around for everybody to see.
You'd be putting that on YouTube or Facebook?
We'll probably stream it to all. When we do this, it kind of automatically goes to all three, and I think we put it on Instagram too. So
I'm not on Facebook at all, so it's good to finally get a chance to meet you. I've reviewed a lot of your caps, so
and I've seen them. I appreciate that. But yeah, we've been going on YouTube for a while as well. So
awesome! I'll have to look into that more and check those out.
Yeah.
Oh, well, we got Joe's going to drive. ScoJo Tube is going to drive from Indianapolis with Jason W. That's awesome. I know myself. You're only an hour and a half for me, so I'll be there. I know Dub's coming.
Yeah. Be there. Looking forward to it, man.
I'm there in spirit.
Yeah,
we'll rub it in
I'm looking forward to it as well.
Sure.
Trying to talk Ann into coming down also, but
I'll be there.
All right, now I got another question for those tuning in for you right now here, Chris. What that have not bought a Funky Brims cap or not bought anything from Funky Brims? What differentiates you from other companies to make them give you a try?
I think we just have different styles. I mean, again, there's a lot of great cap companies out there. I don't want to take anything away from, Peaky or Swisher or anybody else that does it, or Boston Scally for that matter. They make a lot of great caps too. I just think, we really set out to just have things that are different that you won't find anywhere else. Again, from the collabs to some of the things we do, and we try our best to give a good service. I mean, we're gonna take a look at every hat before it mails out, and I'm gonna say we're 100% on never having anything, but we do catch a lot of things before they go out, and and we're just going to style it different. I mean, we're just trying to contribute overall to the community and have some different things than you're going to find anywhere else. And, and have the staples too, but that's, I think the thing that differentiates us is we just have some just different takes on ways to put fabrics together and, that sort of thing. And I think we kind of dialed in our shape. I mean, that's really another thing I think we've accomplished over the last year is really kind of getting down to, okay, this is the shape of hat, we like, and, it's always going to be various shapes. I mean, they got to be oval in my opinion, the ones we're doing.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't have the flop on the side, ones that we're making. And so, but we also don't do a whole lot of duckbills. So you're always going to see a little bit of brim in front. We'll have a few of them from hologram. And those of you who love duckbills, that's great. There's a lot of great duckbills out there. That's just, we tend to focus on making, more sort of European style, flat caps or newsboys, but with kind of the more modern, slim twist on them, if you will.
Yeah, I just want to add, and somebody that's gotten a lot of your hats, I appreciate as a customer that you sell hats from a lot of different companies. You don't have to go to a bunch of different websites to see them. Your orders always come quickly when I've ordered, and when I did have a problem with a cap in the past, you took care of it right away, and there was no issue. And so, I mean, I appreciate that about your company.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that too. Other than a major ice and snowstorm hitting a few weeks ago, that kind of slowed us down a little bit. Got behind, but that shouldn't happen again.
Yeah, I agree with that. He's always right back to you right away. And it's great when you can just, contact the owner of the company and you have that relationship. It's awesome. I mean, what first drew me to Funky Brims was the Boston Scallies that I couldn't get. And then I'm like, wait, they're the same price, but it's free shipping. So that's kind of what originally brought me to Funky Brims,
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's huge.
It's been a gateway drug for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, customer service is huge. Personable, being able to be personable, actually reaching out to you, responding. The small companies, that's what wins people, and it's awesome. I mean, I'll always support a small business. If I have a chance between a Walmart and a mom and pops, I'm going to the mom and pops. Might be a few dollars more.
Appreciated. Yeah. And every town you live in, there's small moms and pops out there that can use it. And, I think it's be a really, really sad day just in general if we ever get to the point where Amazon's taken over the world so much that mom and pops just can't make it at all.
Yeah.
I'm old enough to remember before the Walmarts took over, and you had your local A&P, local Farmer Jack, and it was I would love to go back to that time. Yeah,
the 5 and 10s, the hardware stores.
You're supporting a family rather than supporting the guy who's getting a $10 million bonus and paying the cashiers $12 an hour. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense to me.
No, and I think that's one of the things also, for what it's worth. I mean, we, Oklahoma has a pretty reasonable cost of living, and we have 13 employees between the two stores right now, and even our girls that are in high school start off at $17 an hour, and we've set aside a pretty good chunk for profit sharing with them. So we get our choice of employees. They do a great job, so all of them, they end up probably making another $2 or $3 an hour in profit share on top of that. And then anyone that works 32 hours a week or more gets, health and dental, all that kind of stuff. So, I think
that's cool.
That's sort of our
kudos for that. That is amazing. Yeah. It's very, to be honest with you, Chris, it's very rare nowadays.
It is, but I think it's people are missing out a lot, and to be able to, interview people and there's a lot of things we do to try to create the right work environment and treat people the right way and all that kind of stuff as well. But, making it a happy place to come work and, but remember that eventually people get out of bed and go to work because they need to make money and they need to, have insurance and things to provide for their family and, all the other, little snacks that are around and all that stuff doesn't mean a whole lot if they're getting, treated badly or not paid well. So.
Yes.
Right. Exactly.
And you also can't, it's also just smart business. I mean, in terms of just having employees that care and feel like they're bought in and have a stake in the result of the company. And, it's just, you can't overestimate how much that's worth to have, employees that actually care, and want to work there, that this is their employer of choice.
Speaking of, how many employees do you have?
13 now. In my wife's store.
Cool.
And then we actually just had a brand new full-time warehouse person starting just on the Funky Brim side last week.
Nice.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
we got another employee who's going to be full-time just at Funky Brims as well. And so we'll probably have some part-time people and kind of float back and forth. I mean, it's a 30-second walk between the two stores, so it's kind of nice from that perspective.
Cool.
And we are going to jump back into the store here. So on the grand opening day, what can a person expect when they walk in the store?
So those of you who have seen my wife's store, it's kind of immersive, right? It's all pink and it's turquoise, and there's a Volkswagen bus sitting out front and a Volkswagen Bug convertible inside, and a big pink British phone booth and a Zoltar machine and all kinds of stuff like
Zoltar.
that. Sort of, it's sort of immersive in this sort of Palm Springs vibe, if you will, 60s, whatever it is. Ours is going to be very different than that, which is probably a relief to those guys who want to, buy hats and that stuff. But it is equally immersive of you walking into sort of 1920s, 30s, London or Dublin haberdashery hat shop, if you will.
That's cool.
Cool.
That kind of vibe, definitely darker, a little bit more of a speakeasy is the right way to put it, but you're going to feel like you kind of step back in time a little bit and have that sort of same immersive feel. And, so that's, it's going to be fun. Yeah, Johnny, the phone booth works too. You have no idea what we went through to get an old phone booth that with a dial rotary phone to actually work on. Had to have somebody write the code to count the clicks and turn it into digits to go through there. But yeah, it's fun to watch the teenagers sit there and try to, push buttons, whatever it is, or figure out how to work a rotary dial.
Ancient artifacts there. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that little secret room you guys found looks cool too.
That does look cool.
Yeah. Oh, if we could ever, we own this building, so we're able to do a lot to it. If we're renting over there, but trying to buy it. But yeah, we'd move upstairs. We would finish up and move up there if we could ever justify it. It's fun. It is. It's an old time and dime. So the old sort of 2-story storage was upstairs, but yeah, there's great windows and exposed brick and hardwood floors and all this stuff up there. Just it doesn't make any sense to renovate all that when you're renting it.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna go another round. Anybody have any more questions for Chris before we take some more from the audience?
Yeah, one. So as far as the Funky Brim store, do you plan on maybe like having other apparel in it? Like, in other words, is there going to be any hails in there, or maybe some of your T-shirts, or maybe waistcoats to match the hats one day, or something like that?
Yeah, there's definitely going to be the Hales flannels, and we'll be able to hang those up. And right now they're still in their bags, and we still sell them pretty well, just bagged up here. But be able to put them on hangers and let people try them on, and that kind of stuff. So we'll have a Hales section there, and and then we're looking and definitely have our own T-shirts and that kind of stuff. And we're looking at some other things that make sense, like socks. But it's just got to be something different. Again, one of our things over here in this store is like, I'm not going to say there's nothing here that you can pull up on Amazon and find, because there is, but not there's a lot of things you can't, which is kind of getting harder and harder to find. And so, finding those brands, when you go to like markets and that kind of stuff, smaller brands, other mom and pops that are, making it out of their, whatever it is, and startup brands and that sort of stuff. And then, we'll have the right, it's got a, we're going to have a whole Peaky Blinders section, right? There's a movie coming out, and I love the show. So, why not, got books and, playing cards and, just sort of other kind of Peaky Blinders stuff. And there'll be, probably end up being some Great Gatsby stuff in there, just things that kind of thematically make sense. And just some other just kind of men's gifts. I mean, that just kind of locally here, there's not, there's plenty of places you can go and find, women's gifts and all that kind of stuff. So bringing in just some more masculine gifts for guys to come buy stuff, or also for their wives to come in and find a, place with some good, well curated, gifts that may, not necessarily be hat related, but be a little more masculine, whether it be barware or, just kind of whatever kind of makes sense.
Cool.
That probably won't be more than 10 or 15% of the store total, some of that kind of stuff. Mainly going to be hats and flannel.
Cool.
Anybody else have any questions for him?
So some of you mentioned Waste Coast. Yeah, that would be cool. Waste Coast Invest. That would be a fun thing to add. Got to find the right partners for these things. What is the story for the name of your company? I'm sorry.
Yep, that's what I was about to ask you. Yep.
so Functified is it's got an interesting story. My wife actually reserved that name and website. Man, I can't remember how many years ago now. So she used to be on local news here, and she had a segment that was syndicated into, I don't know, 20-something markets or something like that, and that was just the word that she used was Functified. And we just kind of held that back, and decided when she opened the store, and so Funky Brims just kind of made a lot of sense coming off of the Functified store. So
cool.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, here's a funny little comment here. It's probably nice not having Sarah correct you tonight.
It is. Well, it's like, I'm sure I'll hear, hey, did you know you said this? You should have said, yeah.
No, it's a little disappointing. I thought what I hear in the background or something.
Yeah. It would be no.
It's called the Gentleman's Roundtable for a reason, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say she was. Yeah, I appreciate that. But no, it'll be fun, and she's gonna be mad at you, Steve, for saying that. So.
All right, so Chris, we're gonna go ahead and have you toot your little horn here, like as far as let everybody know who has not watched any of your live streams, what nights those come on, and everything like that, so we can promote that a little bit here.
Yeah, so on the Funky Brims Facebook page or YouTube page, and also on Instagram, 7 o'clock Central Thursday nights. Very rarely do we change that. 2 or 3 times we've done that, but yeah, we'll be there 7 o'clock Thursday Central Time, 8 o'clock Eastern, and then the drop of this hat will be happening right at the end of that, 8 o'clock Central, 9 o'clock Eastern. Kind of switch that up a little bit where, we were getting to a place where we were trying to show caps on the live, and it's like, well, this thing's already been sold out. So, okay, well, I'm going to sit here and show you a hat you can't actually buy, so we decided to move that drop to sort of right after the live, and tried that last week, and it went pretty well. We'll see how it goes for me. Just kind of tinkering around with the right way to do that.
Are the lives an hour long typically?
Yeah. And then if we're going to be dropping at, 8 o'clock, we'll, cut it off at the 50 to 55 minute mark, something like that.
Chad, I text Chad the codes and stuff during the live. Chad, you got this code.
me and you both, man. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So that's I'm looking for if we have any more questions in the chat. So if you guys have any other questions for Chris in the chat, we are getting close to our just about an hour, so we'll be ending this year shortly, but we'll take a couple more questions from the audience. Chris, do you have anything else you want to say or anything to any of the viewers?
No, again, appreciate it. Follow us, throw us in the mix of the companies you're considering, and we do have a good sale going on between now and tomorrow night, and then dropping this hat on Thursday, and then another number of other great ones coming up over the next couple of weeks, with St. Patrick's Day and everything else as well. And, that's, again, I think that's, and again, I'll just say there's a lot of great cap makers out there, I think, and it's really been nice to see the last, and I've had a lot of conversations with some of them, some of the people that are starting up, and I'm not even going to start to mention them because inevitably I'll leave one of them out and feel bad about that later, but just a lot of the, guys are doing it in their house or starting up a small, things, whatever. There's some really great ones coming out, and hopefully they see it the same way. I mean, I don't look at all these guys as competition. I think the biggest competition we have is people who don't wear hats at all, and then second biggest is people that will only buy one brand exclusively and not even try any other. Yeah. And so to the extent you bring more people in and they start wearing caps at all, that's great for everybody. The extent that people start mixing in other brands other than just their main one, whatever it is, and looking at some other brands, that's there's enough to go around for everybody, and there's a lot of people making great caps out there, and it's a fun community.
And I'm a victim of that as well. I was strictly BSC for a while, and you are the first company I ventured off to outside of that. And now it's led to a whole smorgasbord of hats, and now the BSC.
You opened up the door. you open up the door for like all the European caps, like, you know, with these guys, you know, that's pretty cool. Pretty cool thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I first learned about your channel from both Dubs and Moose, and I'm very happy with the hats I've gotten from you. A lot of choices.
I appreciate that, and you know, and we it's an honor when people buy the stuff, especially, you know, the stuff that, you know, that are our unique creations. It's, you know, it's like, you know, it's just it means a lot to people like the stuff that we make. So.
I love the Hales flat caps that you're doing. I really like the cut of them. I've got several of them.
It's the growth, man, because when I first got into it, you didn't have your own Funky Brims line. So I remember being excited about when that was coming, you know?
Yeah. And then when we started just doing, you know, talking to a few of the cap makers where we were buying caps, you know, Laird was the first one to do custom ones with us. And, you know, like, okay, that's, you know, that works. But, you know, and then finding somebody who, you know, Alfonso d'Este is a relatively new brand in that, you know, they've only been out, I think, 10 or 12 years, something like that. But they're third or fourth generation. They before the current generation took over, all they did was private label. And so, you know, in Italy or whatever. So they have a long history of doing a great job making private label caps, much longer than their own brand. And so that's the, you know, they've been great partners to sort of grow this with.
That's a good question.
Yeah. And, you know, just to kind of piggyback off of what we were saying about like people are just on Boston Scally only, you know, it's you don't know what you're missing until you try something else.
Right.
Yeah. You know, as far as the fit, as far as the feel, I mean, I'm not knocking, you know, Boston Scally at all. It's just that if you're complacent to just stay with that one company, you're not knowing what kind of quality is out there for the same price or for a lot better quality. Right. And so that's you guys make great customer service, Chris, and your guys' quality of your caps and all the brands you carry are top notch, and you got quality control. I never had any issues with anything I ever bought from you, and I'm sure these guys pretty much have the same feel that I have. But
I appreciate that, and of course, you know, there's going to be things happen, and I think just trying to proactively get it taken care of quickly and do the best we can taking care of it when those mistakes do happen, and spending a few minutes figuring out, okay, why did this happen, you know, and how can we keep it from happening, and trying to improve it as we go as well.
Yeah, I got Repair Adam. He put Funky Brims is going to be my next purchase. It's no surprise they sell out so fast. Yeah,
I appreciate that.
Yeah. Dude, your live streams have become routine on Thursday nights at the house, man. So the whole family, the whole family's watching it now, dude. So,
routine.
I'll give Sarah a lot of credit for that. It was her idea to do those, and she was like, you know, you see a lot of these women's boutiques who do these live streams and, you know, whatever it is, but you don't ever see one doing for any kind of men's stuff. And
she's right.
You know, I would hate to go back and watch the first ones because I was like, hey, you know, like, what do you do? I talk a lot. I like to talk, but it's weird getting in front of the camera for the first time, as you know.
It really is. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you guys definitely compliment each other on the live stream. You got Sarah that's so bubbly, enjoy it, and then you got you just straight business. So it's
he's trying to get me out of the shell a little bit, and I think, you know, you mentioned the family. I also give her a lot of credit for that. Number of people whose wives watch it with them, I think, you know, mainly because if it was just me on there, they probably wouldn't, but you know, the wives and seeing Sarah model some of those, and then, you know, again, kind of perfect what the shape she likes, and starting to make some of the same caps and women's versions as well. So I think just kind of make it a little bit more of a family affair for a lot of people.
Yeah, funny story about that. Oh, go ahead, Doug.
So does the whole family wear caps, or is it just you and Sarah, or does
just me and Sarah? You know, we got 3 college age kids, and you know, they'll wear them if I ask them to, or model one or something. Like that.
Gotcha.
13-year-old didn't touch them right now. You know, but you know, that's so be it. They'll grow into it someday. But they appreciate them, and they say, you know, I've got one son that's going to college in Paris. He'll tune in sometimes, or I'll see him on there, see some of the kids on there. It's kind of fun.
Awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, my daughter will take one and throw it on her head, and it looks great. You know, like I was going to say funny story about the family thing, because she was watching one of your lives over my shoulder one day, and she said, type in there. She was getting a kick out of how I type in comments, and you guys respond to things sometimes. So she's like, type in there that I say hi. So I said, my daughter says hi. And then Sarah was like, Aunt's daughter says hi. And she was like thrilled. She like coming up.
If we see it, we're never going to leave a kid go unanswered if you see it. Sometimes those comments go so fast, it's hard to
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah. And I saw somebody, I guess that's the other thing I would tout. Somebody just said, having caps that eat, both ends of the spectrum. I mean, we do, when we find something unique, we're going to bring it in, and hopefully there's people that wanted it, whether it's a high end or something like that. I mean, we've kind of pushed that a couple of times where we've just seen something that's been like, so wow, I love that.
Yeah.
We'll bring in fewer of them because they're more expensive. But we always, our cap of the week every week, we're always going to have something that you could, have delivered to your door, for $40 or less, and sometimes quite a bit less than that. And they're great caps too. Caps I don't put anything in there that I wouldn't wear myself. And so we try to definitely have that full range of prices.
Yeah.
And the mystery box. The mystery boxes were a great idea too. I mean, that was
awesome. Yeah.
Those have been a lot of fun, and we're about to bring those back around again. We just kind of had to. I just want to get moved. That's those mystery boxes. It just takes up a lot of space to make those and do them the way we did. And I won't bore everybody with the details, but so we get into the new space. They're still out there. I post the link sometimes. People can order them. We just hadn't really been pushing them as much lately because we just kind of been kind of getting everything under control and ready to move lately, which is not kind of the opposite of what we do when we're making mystery boxes.
Dude, I love on like the Hell's Drops how you offer like the plaid with the plaid or a solid to go with the plaid. You have so many options, man.
Yeah.
I think that's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's and again, I think the plaids. People say, well, I don't like the plaid with the plaid. Some people do. But also, those plaids make great cap. I mean, if you think about how many plaid caps you buy,
they do,
T-shirts or green T-shirts or whatever it is. A lot of those plaids go really well with solid colored whatever.
I think that's an awesome idea. So I'm really.
I love that Rosie the Riveter drop that you guys did. I got a couple of those. Those are really nice.
Yeah, and and that the nice thing is those are unique fabrics you won't find anywhere else. The Hales fabrics and usually we over order those. I've always had in my mind to come back and make some patchworks out of it. So, for instance, the Rosie might end up on a patchwork for July 4th with some of the other red, white, and blue ones, and this year's red, white, and blue ones, and all that kind of stuff, and kind of make some custom patchworks that are themed right. Where you can sit there and go, okay, that's that Rosie from last year that fits in with these two. So it'll be fun. The more sort of build up an inventory of having just few yards left over this and that, where you could do just little small squares. That the fabric goes a long ways when you're just making little small squares out of it.
Yeah.
All right. Any of us have any other questions for Chris?
Nope, I'm good.
No. Yeah.
Chris, you got any final things to say, sir?
I appreciate Johnny Chuckles, local guy here. That so if you're close enough, that's a nice thing of coming in and trying them on and seeing what you can like and not like in person. So Broken Arrow, Oklahoma, right outside of Tulsa.
All right. Yeah, so that's pretty much going to be it here today. Chris, we want to thank you for joining us. It was a pleasure.
Appreciate you guys having me on.
100%.
Appreciate it, man.
Thanks for coming on. It's a pleasure meeting you.
Thanks a lot, brother.
Really happy to do it again sometime. So, when you guys rotate back around through and have something you want to talk about, let's do it again. It's a lot of fun.
Perfect. We'd love to have you back for sure. And like I said, all our viewers, if you guys could subscribe to our channels, I put links in the chat. And our next live stream is going to be 2 weeks from today, where we will have Ryan from Peaky Hat joining us.
All right.
And again, everybody, thank you for tuning in today. Chris, thank you for being our guest. It was a pleasure. And you're always welcome to come back. Just shoot us. If you ever want to join us again, just shoot us a little message. We'll love to have you back.
Yeah, absolutely. And have fun with Ryan, too. He makes great caps. He's a great guy to talk to as well. Every time I've ever called up Ryan, with a quick question, I've ended up being on the phone with him for an hour because we can both talk forever. So he's a great guy.
Yeah, we'll fill up
all right,
some space next week.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.
Yeah.
Again, Chris, thank you.
Appreciate
we'll see
it,
everybody in 2 weeks when we have Ryan on the show, and appreciate everybody watching.
We doing an off the brim next week?
Thanks a lot, guys.
We're gonna have to see if we have the time here. We gotta get everybody's time to see if we have everybody together. But we'll talk about that in a little bit.
Cool.
All right, everybody.
See ya.
All right, guys.
Thanks. Bye.
See ya.